Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Quran Weekly, where I read the Quran in Arabic but discuss it in English. My name is Ahmed, and I'm happy to take you on to continue the journey through chapter 9 of the Quran, Surah At-Tawbah. We're picking things up. But before I continue, I must always explain that I'm not an Arabic scholar, nor am I a Quranic scholar. I'm not studied in these topics. In fact, this is my very first read through of the Quran, and I'm sharing my learning experience with you. So if I misunderstand something or say something incorrectly, please feel free to drop a comment and let me know. I've learned a lot from the comments in the past, so I would love to learn from you, and I'm hoping that you can learn something along the way with me. Okay, and before we always read the Quran, we must always say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, which means I seek refuge from God from the devil, and in the name of God, who's most merciful and whose mercy is most encompassing. Off we go.
إنما السبيل على الذين يستأذنونك وهم أغنياء رضوا بأن يكونوا مع الخوالف وطبع الله على قلوبهم فهم لا يعلمون.
Yeah, if you remember from last week, we were continuing the story of those who invest in the way of God and invest with the Prophet and help, either fight or spend money, and then there are those who do not. So this is a continuation of that story, and it picks off starting with straight away. The only blame is for those who ask you permission while they are rich. They tell you, "Oh, we can't give. Oh, we can't afford," and they have plenty to give, and they're just refusing to do so. So these are the people that we're talking about. They're satisfied that they are with the ones who stay behind. They're satisfied with not being a part of the war. They're satisfied with not fighting. And then we see the phrase that was mentioned a couple times before: God stamped on their hearts, so they do not know. They don't even know. They don't know how bad their situation is. And we see this kind of time and time again. These are the people, of course, these are the people of the Prophet and the people who claim to be the allies as well.
يعتذرون إليكم إذا رجعتم إليهم قل لا تعتذروا لن نؤمن لكم قد نبأنا الله من أخباركم وسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون.
Okay, so here, these people, after you come back to them and they don't spend, they don't fight, they don't strive, they will make excuses to you when you have returned to them. So when you come back from the war, they'll make excuses to you. Oh, we couldn't because of this, because of that, because of this. So what you should say to them, and again, we always take the Quran, even though it talks about the past, it can apply to the future, and it can apply to any time that there needs to be a strive for God and for fighting for what we believe in. So here's what you should say to them. Say, do not make any excuse. We will never believe. لن نؤمن لكم. We'll never believe you. Verily, God has informed us of your news. God has told us all about you, and we see this in the verses before, and we see this in the verses now. It's very much God has exposed them and saying these people are not good people. And God will see your deeds and his messenger, and then you will be brought back to the knower of the unseen and the seen. So he will inform you of what you used to do. So you're going back to God. God is the knower of the unseen and the seen. God sees everything. God sees what's hidden and what's real. and He will inform you of what you used to do. And yeah, the visual here is like, yeah, excuse my language, but you done effed up. If you've gotten to this point, you know that you done effed up, and there's no help for you. There's no hope. There's like, because He knows everything. He knows what's in your heart. He knows what's out. And so, at this point, there's no saving you.
يحلفون بالله لكم إذا انقلبتم إليهم لتعرضوا عنهم فأعرضوا عنهم إنهم رجس ومأواهم جهنم جزاء بما كانوا يكسبون.
Yeah, continuing, and then they come to you, and then they swear by God, which again we said is one of the biggest covenants that can happen. It's like it's the highest oath that you can give. So they swear by God to you when you returned towards them, so that you may turn away from them. Like they swear by God, just leave us alone. You know, we were really tired, we were really stressed, we can't really do it. And the Quran agrees with them. The Quran says, so turn away from them. They're indeed impure, evil. They're just, yeah. They're just, it's yeah, impure. I like the definition of impure, but as you can see, it's also evil. And their abode, their destination is hell. As a recompense, as a, you know, they get what they deserve of what they used to earn. This is, they earned their place in hell.
يحلفون لكم لترضوا عنهم فإن ترضوا عنهم فإن الله لا يرضى عن القوم الفاسقين.
And then they swear to you so that you may be pleased with them. They'll say anything to be like, oh, please forgive us, we're fine, we're good, we're whatever, blah blah blah. But even if you are pleased with them, then indeed God is not pleased, and God is not pleased with the people that are defiantly disobedient. So yeah, you might have a soft heart, and you might say, you know, I'll forgive you, or whatever, I'll be this. But God says, no. You guys intentionally lied, intentionally stood back. Like, it's better for them to have said, we don't believe, we don't want to fight, we don't want to strive, than to say, we do believe, we're supporting you, and then we're not doing it. And that's what God's saying. No, this is not okay. This is defiantly disobedient, corrupt. I like corrupt, but rebellious, defiantly disobedient people that refuse to do good, refuse no matter what.
الأعراب أشد كفرا ونفاقا وأجدر ألا يعلموا حدود ما أنزل الله على رسوله والله عليم حكيم.
So this begins a series of where we talk about a new group of people. Al-A'rab kind of translates to the Arabs. So it's kind of ironic that it's talking about it, because obviously some of the Arabs were a part of the Prophet, as some of the, I mean, as I identify as an Arab. So it kind of here. So the translation that they're using is the Bedouins, the nomadic Arabs. So these are the ones that weren't in the cities. These are the ones that were kind of spread around. And it describes them as being stronger in disbelief and hypocrisy. So, and they're more likely to not know the limits of what God has revealed to his messenger. And indeed, God is all-knowing and all-wise. So here we're introducing a new set of people. These are the people that are more likely to be disbelievers, more likely to be hypocritical, and that don't know the limits of God, of what was revealed by God to his messenger. And indeed, God is all-knowing, all-wise. But not all of them are bad. I think we see one more bad, and then we see something good.
ومن الأعراب من يتخذ ما ينفق مغرما ويتربص بكم الدوائر عليهم دائرة السوء والله سميع عليم.
Okay, so from the Arabs, from among not the Arabs, from among the Bedouins, from among the nomads, are those who take what they spend as a loss. So things that you've been telling them to spend, you've been telling them to kind of give to charities, to take care of the poor, to take care of the needy, and they feel like you're making them lose what they don't have to pay. Like they just think of themselves, and they await for you in terms of misfortune. They're just waiting for bad things to happen to you. They're waiting for, and here we understand it. For you, it could be the prophet. It could be the believers. It could be the ones that are striving for the way of God. They're waiting for turns of misfortune. Upon them, their turn da'iratus su'. Upon them is kind of, it's like this is, yeah. So this is kind of I like the translation here. May ill fortune befall them. عليهم دائرة السوء, which means it's kind of like the circle of evil. May it be upon them. Like may they be entrenched in it. May they be kind of surrounded in evil and surrounded in negativity. And God is all hearing and all knowing. I find it very peculiar. We're always describing, the Quran is always describing God in these situations, and I wonder why it's talking about all hearing, all knowing. I think it's clarifying that God knows the bad Bedouins from what we're going to see in the next verse, the good Bedouins. I think that's why it's clarifying.
ومن الأعراب من يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ويتخذ ما ينفق قربات عند الله وصلوات الرسول ألا إنها قربة لهم سيدخلهم الله في رحمته إن الله غفور رحيم.
Now, if you've gotten this far in the episode, like one of the thoughts that was going through my head is, why does it sound like God is being so vengeful and so angry and so frustrated about all the negatives? But here we kind of see the flip side. There's always the duality of God. There's the grace and kindness and forgiveness to those who do good and strive and try to be good and try to give back. And there's also the punishment of those that do not and are hypocritical and lie and want misfortune. So here he describes, and among the Bedouins, the nomads, those who believe in God and in the final day, the last day, which, as we know, that's pretty much it. If you believe in God on the final day and you die, you're going to heaven, essentially. That's the big one, so to speak, as we understood from the chapter 2. And these people, these believers from the nomads, take what they spend and then qurabat and Allah, in means of nearness towards God. So they take what they spend, they kind of give it back to the poor, to the needy, to the mosques, to the, like they're always thinking of God whenever they spend money. And so really it's really describing the highest level of believer. And the blessings wa salawat al-Rasul, I think of the prayers of the Rasul, the prayers of the messenger, not the blessings. Blessings is incorrect. I think it means and the prayers of the messengers, and they're praying either to the messenger or praying how the messenger taught them to pray, for example. And it describes, behold, indeed they are in myriads of they're close. Qurbatun, their nearness, it will certainly bring them closer, and it's closer to God, closer to faith, closer to the correct path for them. And God will admit them into His mercy. And this is kind of the flip side of what we see. We see the first, it's the y'all going to hell, and no matter what anybody thinks, God says you're done. And then on the flip side, if you're good, even doesn't matter. Like here, it's also describing the same groups of people that might have been further away from God. they can be brought into his mercy, and indeed God is oft forgiving and most merciful. So we kind of get the reprieve in these verses.
والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه وأعد لهم جنات تجري تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا ذلك الفوز العظيم.
I'm also noticing that I'm very tired. I don't really sleep that much because of the full moon yesterday, but yeah. So here it says, as-sabiqun, the ones that came first, the ones that came before, and the ones that came first, from the immigrants, the ones that immigrated with the Prophet and marched with him and stood by him before he had amassed his power and strength, while he was still difficult, while they were still being persecuted. So these are the ones that stood with the Prophet from the very beginning. And the helpers, and this is a specific name of those that helped the Prophet in his early times when he was first spreading the message, and the people around, the tribes around him, were trying to kill him and trying to stop him from spreading it. Those are the people that helped him during those times. And those who followed them in righteousness, God is pleased with them, and they are pleased with him. And he has prepared for them gardens that flow from underneath it, the rivers. They will abide in it forever. That is the ultimate and great success. So here it's kind of giving the highest praise to these people, the ones that came before, the ones that were the first, and the ones that were the helpers.
وممن حولكم من الأعراب منافقون ومن أهل المدينة مردوا على النفاق لا تعلمهم نحن نعلمهم سنعذبهم مرتين ثم يردون إلى عذاب عظيم.
Okay, and now we're back to the ones that are not doing so great. But among those around you, from the Bedouins, the nomads, they are hypocrites. And also from the people of Medina. Now, if you may know the story, the Prophet was born in Mecca, and then he immigrated to Medina. And again, this is what was described in the previous verse, that he had the people that went with him and the people that supported him, the ones in the first. But here it's even describing that even from the people of Medina, after he kind of came to Medina and they celebrated and they kind of did all these things, even amongst those people, there are those that are hypocrites. And with hypocrites and munafiqun, we see this time and time again, those that claim they are good, claim they are with you, but then stab you in the back. They persist, these people, they persist in hypocrisy, and you do not know them. So here God is talking to the Prophet directly, and he's saying, you do not know these people. You don't know who is the one that's lying to you. You don't know who's betraying you, but we do. We know them. And again, we see God refer with the royal we, so we don't know if it's himself or his angels. It just means the tribe of heaven or God himself. It's a bit unclear. And we will punish them twice over, and then they will be returned to a punishment that is great. Sorry, I was speaking to again, Safa says punish is the wrong word, but torment is the right word. And I don't know why she specifies that this is the difference, but she says it. And I even saw her and I spoke to her, and it just, I don't know. I don't understand the difference. The nuance is flying above me. But it's interesting. It says it will punish them twice, and then they will be returned to the great punishment. So like they're going to hell with everybody else, but then there's the special punishment that they go and get twice over. Like, ooh, I can't even. My brain can't fathom the great punishment, let alone how they will be punished twice before the great punishment. That's wild to me.
وآخرون اعترفوا بذنوبهم خلطوا عملا صالحا وآخر سيئا عسى الله أن يتوب عليهم إن الله غفور رحيم.
And here we see another description. I mean, there's there's the ones that are good, and then there's the ones that are bad, and then there's those kind of in between. And here's the in between. And others who acknowledged their sins and acknowledged their mistakes, and they had mixed up their righteous deeds. So the idea is they've mixed up their sins with their righteous deeds, and they've done something wrong. But the most important thing is they acknowledged their sins. So they mixed the righteous deed with others that were evil. Perhaps God will turn in mercy to them. And then the next description, indeed, God is oft forgiving and most merciful. So we kind of understand from the way that it's described is that chances are they will receive God's mercy. It's never too late. You can always kind of talk about your mistakes. You can always kind of correct your wrongs. And God always kind of keeps the door open. Even though sometimes we see that God stamped upon some people's hearts, and some people, they will never ask for mercy. They will never ask for forgiveness. They will never ask for anything. They are stamped. But some others, like all of us, we've all sinned. I've sinned plenty. But there's always room to own up to what you're doing wrong. And you will find, if you do, that God is oft forgiving and most merciful.
خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها وصل عليهم إن صلاتك سكن لهم والله سميع عليم.
This verse brings me a lot of peace. It's very beautiful. It's very fantastic. So here it suggests a remedy for those that messed up and owned up to their problems, and they kind of want to do better. Here it's saying take, and again we understand from this that it's talking about the Prophet, but again the Quran is timeless, so it can refer in future times, and it can refer as a guide for whoever is in charge, I suppose, going down the line. So take from their wealth a charity. And what does the charity do? It purifies them and causes them to increase and blesses them. Blesses them sounds better. By it. And here it says, and pray upon them. And pray for them. I like that better than bless them. This is bless. This is pray upon them. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ. So pray upon them. Indeed, your prayer is a reassurance for them. And here it kind of like talks about the power of a prayer and the power of, but again, it's very specifically talking about praying for those that are asking for forgiveness and that are asking for guidance and that are asking for elite, and they want to do good. For those that are trying to find God, praying for them is doing wonders. Those prayers are the most powerful, from what I understand. Most powerful. They're quite powerful. Let's just say there might be more powerful prayers. I don't want to talk out of my behind. And God is all hearing and all knowing. And here we see it again. We're seeing kind of indications that God knows. God knows those who are trying to be better and those who will never try to be better. And He makes a very clear distinction between the two. Those that are, and that's also something that we can take in our personal lives. Everyone in everyone's life, you'll have friends or people that they just don't care about you. They just They tell you that they're your friend. They tell you that they support you, and then they don't do anything. They refuse to be there for you. And then you have some friends who mess up and they kind of do something bad, and then they try to be better and they try to they try to do right. They try to make sure that you feel at least to undo their mistakes. And the beauty about this here is that God knows the difference. But generally, if they own up to it and they're asking for help, pray for them, and things will be good.
ألم يعلموا أن الله هو يقبل التوبة عن عباده ويأخذ الصدقات وأن الله هو التواب الرحيم.
Yeah, and here again, there's so much peace in these verses. It's beautiful. Do they not know that God is the one who accepts repentance from his slaves, and he takes charities. He accepts charities, and indeed God is the acceptor of repentance and the most merciful. And again, these are names of God. Whenever we see these descriptions, they're names, and these names mean you accept repentance and you are most merciful. And it really gives you, there's always these arguments that I have with a lot of people when it comes to religion, and they're like, why is God so vengeful? Why is he hateful? Why does he force us into to praying? Why is it so aggressive? And for me, God's both. He is vehemently against those who are defiantly disobedient, and 100% the supporter of those who are trying to do good and live a good life. And in the same coin, he can be the most merciful and most kind and forgiving. All you have to do is ask for it, which is it's not that hard. All you have to do is want forgiveness, and it'll be there. But at the same time, if you choose hatred, violence, lies, hypocrisy, then ain't nothing gonna help you. God's done. And I like that I gave a description to somebody as I was talking earlier this week. It's like God's a gardener. And in the garden, there are some flowers and plants that need nourishment, light, sun, water, nutrients. And then there's also weeds within the garden. And the weeds, if you don't deal with them, they're going to grow and they're going to kill the plants that are healthy and that are good. And God is a gardener. He will cull the weeds. He will aggressively remove them, as he should, because in the end of the day, he has the vision of the entire garden as his vision, and we may not understand it, but it's very powerful.
قل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله والمؤمنون وستردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون.
Yeah. And here it's kind of, I think this applies to both. Obviously, I feel like it's talking about the good, but it can apply for both. And say, and again, this is something that we can all say, do, and then God will see your deeds, and his messenger and his believers. And then you will be brought back to the knower of the unseen and the seen, and he will inform you of what you used to do. So the main message here is that we're all going back to God. The good, the bad, the in-between. And everybody's going to get a list of, oh, this is the good that you did, and this is the bad that you did, and I know and see all. So might as well make it good. It's funny. I've always been a good person regardless of religion. I walked away from religion from when I was 20. And then I came back when I was 35. And I still believe that I was a good person. Obviously, now that I'm back in religion, I am 1,000-fold better. It's not even close. I am kinder, more patient, more charitable, more supportive. I've become 1,000 times better. I still think I was a good person before, but I was just a good person that didn't really help anyone. I was just helping myself, you know? I was kind of selfish and self-focused. So in a way, religion does help us come forward, but yeah.
وآخرون مرجون لأمر الله إما يعذبهم وإما يتوب عليهم والله عليم حكيم.
Okay. And we see a slight nuance in the description of God here, but so and others deferred the command of God, and some others are left to the decision of God. So here the previous one talks about God will see your deeds as well as His messenger as well as believers. This everybody will be aware to it, and then some of you. The decision will be deferred back to God, which actually makes me feel like the seer of the knower, alim al-ghayb wa shahada, the one who knows the unseen and the seen. I don't know if this is a description of God. I think we understand it to be God, but I'm not sure. And specifically because the next verse it says, and others deferred the command of, or deferred to the command of God. Maybe it's separating it from His messenger and the believers, and then just God. But the knower of the seen and the unseen, I'm getting the feeling that maybe it might not be God. I'm not sure. I know that God knows the unseen. I know that God sees within our hearts. We've seen many of those descriptions in time and time again. But maybe there's another entity? I don't know. Occam's razor, the simplest explanation, is probably the truest. So let's just believe that this is God for now until proven otherwise. But anyway, the others will be deferred to the command of God, whether He will punish them or whether He will turn in mercy towards them. And God is all-knowing and all-wise. Now, before we heard the description of God as all-hearing and all-knowing. Aliman. Okay, so we do say Aliman again. Yeah, Aliman, all-knowing and all-wise. And this time he adds the description of wisdom. And there is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is intelligence. Wisdom is like a soulful understanding, so to speak.
الذين اتخذوا مسجدا ضرارا وكفرا وتفريقا بين المؤمنين وإرصادا لمن حارب الله ورسوله من قبل وليحلفن إن أردنا إلا الحسنى والله يشهد إنهم لكاذبون.
So here Ken now also talks about mosques. And those that take a mosque to cause harm. They build a mosque, but their intents are to cause harm and to cause disbelief and division. So they have bad intentions for these mosques, bad intentions for these places where people congregate to pray among the believers. So again, here we're talking about the believers as a station for whoever fought against God and His messenger from before. So here again, they're saying it's a mosque, but then they're collecting all the people who fought against God and His messenger. And they swear that they do not wish except good, but God bears witness, indeed they are surely liars. So God knows that they're lying. And what do you do with these mosques?
لا تقم فيه أبدا لمسجد أسس على التقوى من أول يوم أحق أن تقوم فيه فيه رجال يحبون أن يتطهروا والله يحب المطهرين.
So for those mosques that are built that not for God, or they're built with bad intent, do not stand in it ever. So again, we understand it to be the Prophet, but I think that we can also apply this to all of us. We shouldn't stand in those marks, in those mosques. Uh, a mosque founded on righteousness from the very first day is more worthy for you to stand in it. Within it are men that love to be purified and to purify themselves, and God loves the ones who purify themselves. And again, we've seen an example of how to purify yourself in the form of charity. This seems to be time and time and time again. And I find it very interesting that the name of the chapter is At-Tawbah, which means the forgiveness. And it contains some of the most, darkest and difficult and most aggressive verses of who God is angry at and who God is saying that you are the problem, and he's asking the believers to fight them and kill them. And at the same time, it's showing a way out of that, showing a way to God, showing a way to forgiveness and to mercy. And I think that's the main message of this chapter, how to achieve God's mercy.
أفمن أسس بنيانه على تقوى من الله ورضوان خير أم من أسس بنيانه على شفا جرف هار فانهار به في نار جهنم والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين.
So now we see a comparison between the two. Is it the one who founded his building on righteousness, who kind of, had the right values, the right morals, the right idea, the righteousness from God, or the mindfulness of God, the fear of God, and the pleasure of God? Is it not the one who founded this building with mindfulness of having God in their hearts and they're seeking his pleasure? Is it better, or are the ones who founded the building on... Now here it gives a metaphor description of an edge of a cliff. And then the cliff is about to collapse. And if it collapsed in it, they fall into the fire of hell. So here it's talking about building the mosque on the foundation of righteousness is like a solid foundation and kind of keeps it up. And building a mosque on ill intent is like building it on the edge of a cliff that is about to fall apart and you're going straight to hell. And you also can kind of see this time and time again. There are many people that claim to be religious, and they preach hate and they preach fear, and this is not, they're standing on the edge of a cliff and they're about to fall all the way down to hell. That's the promise from God. And God does not guide a people that are doing wrong. And it's not just doing wrong, that are like really, it's kind of like taking advantage, like kind of, if someone dhalamni, they've really done me, like it is doing wrong. Like, okay, let's just not complicate it. Doing wrong. They did me dirty, you know what I mean? Like it's really kind of screwing me over. And the last verse for today.
لا يزال بنيانهم الذي بنوا ريبة في قلوبهم إلا أن تقطع قلوبهم والله عليم حكيم.
I like the somber note that he's also ended it on. Their building will not cease, which they built to cause doubt. So the building that they built will not cease to cause doubt in their hearts. It will keep causing doubt in their hearts, except until their hearts are cut into pieces. It's going to keep putting doubt in their heart until it like tears them apart. And if you've ever seen somebody who's guilty and consistently doing something negative and consistently doing something hard, like it eats at their soul. They become vile, they become hateful, they become angry, like like the visual of their heart being torn apart just sounds heavy. And indeed, God is all knowing and all wise. Yeah. Whew. Well, as usual, we always end with Sadaq Allahu al-Ali al-Azim, which means trusted is the word of God, who is most elevated and most grand. And I thank you for joining me on this journey. And I'll catch you guys again next week. Ma salame. Bye.